Thank you very much for taking the time today. We have a great presentation on a shipping and transportation management solution that integrates very nicely with your Sage 300, as well as many, many other systems. Next slide, please. If you would advance.
Yep.
Presentation will be about 45 minutes or so, depending on questions. All lines are muted, but if you have a question during the presentation, we would love to answer it. Just type it into the question box on your GoToWebinar panel, and we'll bring that up. Next slide. My name is Peter Conway. I'm a Senior Sales Supervisor and a Senior Account Manager here at Network. I work with many of our 300 clients as well as other practices, and I'm pleased to have Todd Elliott joining us today. Todd, would you like to say hello? Are you with us, Todd?
Indeed. Thank you, Peter. Thanks so much. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the Sage 300 customers today. I'm the Vice President of Sales here at RateLinx. I've been with RateLinx for 6 years, and I'm looking forward to showing our product and answering questions as we go through today. So thanks again. Looking forward to a great presentation here.
Fantastic. If you'd go to the next slide, please. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that while you know Network because you're using one of the ERP solutions, perhaps you're utilizing our cloud or managed services, but we have solutions for all aspects of your business: human resources, sales and CRM, security. And if you have any interest in these, reach out to your account manager and they'll provide you information. We're here to ensure you meet your business goals and move into the technology future with great success. And with that, I'll ask Todd to take it from here.
Great, thank you, Peter. And again, welcome. And you're speaking to RateLinx today, and so we accelerate your supply chain. That's the value proposition that we expect that we need to be performing for you. And so as we go through the product discussion today and introduction of who RateLinx is, the whole idea is about how we can add value to your shipping operations. And so if you have questions, of course, as Peter indicated, please put them into the chat. As an introduction, RateLinx is we were founded in 2002. We're headquartered in Scottsdale, Arizona. All of our customer service teams, support teams, from sales to implementation, software engineering, all of our implementation and account management, all of our teams reside in the Scottsdale, Arizona office. So we get an opportunity to collaborate together to make sure that we're performing the things that you need. And really, I believe that that's a value proposition today. Your support, your daily support, and any changes to the platform will be done with folks in Scottsdale. And we do not outsource any of that support. So again, they understand the product, and that's important today. We're recognized as an award-winning thought leader, not just in technology, by the way, but in transportation as well. We've been named over 40 Gartner market guides and 8 Magic Quadrants over the years with Gartner. And again, what that means is that a third party is validating that not only does our system make sense, but it works. Our customers stay with us. And so again, I'm proud of that. Our 70+ associates have over 500 years of experience in transportation management. So when you're speaking to people about the TMS and what we're doing for you from a technology perspective, we understand transportation. So we are in the FedEx Platinum and UPS Ready programs, so we're globally certified with both FedEx and UPS. We have over 35 parcel carriers already compliant in the system. And then, of course, we are a multimodal TMS. So from small parcel to LTL, truckload, ocean, heavy air, courier, all modes will run through our system. And of course, we work globally. So it's if you're sending things offshore, we take care of it. If you're bringing shipments inbound, we're also able to plan and manage that in the transportation management system as well. Here are a list of our customers that you might recognize. You're going to see customers here with multiple billion-dollar freight spends. And then you also see customers that maybe you don't know very well that have lower volumes. So our system scales with the customer need. And we've got customers with that are doing 100 or 200 shipments in a day, integrated with an e-commerce system. And we have customers that are doing freight audit with us or TMS services across the globe, multiple countries, multiple languages. So again, we are able to provide those services accordingly. Here's how we price our product. I don't want to get into much depth here, but I think it's important that you understand that the width and the depth are two things that we look at for pricing. So what modules do you need? Are you only a shipper that ships parcel? Or do you need LTL and truckload, ocean, etc.? So we look at the width of the use of the TMS and then what the volume looks like. So what are your transactions? We have customers today that transact, like I said, a couple of hundred shipments in a day, and we have customers that are doing 250,000 shipments in a day. And what allows that to happen is the fact that we are hosted in Microsoft Azure. So the application and all of your data would reside in Azure, and that gives us the opportunity to scale with the needs that our customers have, the capacity that they're pulling from the system. All of that is controlled with the platform as a service at Microsoft. So the great part about that is that we're able to scale and work with you as you grow as well. What I'd like to do, Peter, if you don't mind, I'm gonna turn it over to a demo now, if you don't mind. And
yeah, I'm sure everyone would. Let's get into it. See what we got here.
Love it, love it, love it. So what everybody's looking at here today is the ShipLinx desktop application. This will reside on your workstation in the warehouse or wherever your shipping is going on. And this is a real-time integration with Sage 300. So we will be pulling your sales order or your shipment information out of Sage, and it will automatically populate in here for a real-time integration. So when you're doing that sales order and then you boom, that'll hit immediately and it'll go to the floor. So as an example here, I'll just add a sales order number. And then the ship via is populating based on the business rules and optimization that we have for that location. I'll get into that a little bit more in detail, but you can see that UPS and the ship to address, again, came from Sage, and then we've got the packing screen. If you require that packing is done through your TMS, we've got full functionality to do that. And if you don't pack through your TMS, we can turn this off. But as an example, you'll notice that all of the items populate into this packing screen. You've got your item numbers, your quantities, etc. So I'll go ahead and just key this through and give you an example. Here's the first box. And we do allow you to put box IDs into the system, or we will integrate with dimensioners, scales, scanners, whatever you're using on the floor. We can make this as automated as you need it to. So if you have box IDs, great. If you have different sizes all the time, we can accommodate that as well. So this one, box ID 10, populates and the weight automatically fills. But if that needs to change because we've added an item, so we can do 10 pounds and boom, the box is closed. Now, always happens, doesn't it, where customer service or sales says, whoa, 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 I want to add items to that order. So that can happen as well. We can add that midstream in the sales order, and we bring another order in, and now those items populate as well. So if we go ahead and add all these into the second box, you can see how they move down here, and then I'll close that box, and now I've got a box ID dialog box that comes open again. And this, I'm going to use a larger box, more stuff got put in, and then we'll use 25 pounds. So now I've got 2 boxes and they're ready to ship. So I'm going to hit ship, and now I'm back to the ShipLinx screen, and you'll notice that it populates automatically. We've got 1 of 2 boxes showing, and then here is the charges, the 4 days. This is the time in transit. All of that is determined based upon the business rules and your routing guide that we would put into the system. When we hit ship, now we're communicating directly with the carrier. We're printing all of your compliant labels. We're also going to be printing the packing list. So you can see that that first box, there's quantity of 2. And then the second box has all the rest of those items. This packing list, of course, can be configured and customized to meet your logo, your information. You wouldn't be using a RateLinx logo here. You'd be using your specific, and this is a crystal report, so it's very simple for us to change, but you'll notice that the tracking number is here, the shipping method, the order number, and then, of course, if these fields are correct for your needs, great. Otherwise, again, all of this can be changed and customized. So remember that I mentioned that all modes of transportation go through here. So if I use an LTL shipment, I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. And I've also have it pull up the shipment BOL details for us, okay? So we've got 1 pallet, we'll have 20 pieces. Items can also be stored in the TMS, or we can pull that item list from that sales order down from Sage. Again, all of it can be integrated. I'm just showing you that there is a couple of different ways to accomplish that. Weight, of course, will be bigger than a parcel, so we'll use 500 pounds and done. And so now what we've got, that BOL details, the system goes out and does a rate shop. This is a manual rate shop to show you what it looks like. Doesn't need to be done openly. You can have that done under the hood and just provide the results of the most cost-effective or optimal carrier. But you can see that the time in transit comes through, the charges. So you can say, ooh, it's just about $4 more and I can get a day. Well, then you'll know that. So if you want to see it, it'll pop up for you. In this instance, I'll go ahead and use the least expensive, and automatically the 3 days and the base charge discount, fuel charge, and any accessorials will automatically populate. We'll have all of that charge detail listed out for you. So then when we hit ship, now we're tendering this LTL, right? And so any labels are being printed, the bill of lading is printed, and here is the example of the bill of lading for you. It is a standard VIX bill of lading. But we can change this just like I talked about for the packing list. It's a crystal report. So if you need some extra fields here, or maybe you have a bill of lading that is unique for a customer, all of that can be done and included in your implementation process. Also, by the way, if you have new carriers or if you have new customers after you go live, we will support you with changing and adding documents and adding adjustments to this if necessary. And all of that's included in the subscription price. There are no professional service fees for you to get these forms changed. So that's an important value proposition as well. Any of you doing international shipments, I'll just give you a quick example of that. sending it to Tokyo here, and what'll happen is our commodity screen opens up. Again, all of these commodity details can be pulled in, the values can be pulled in from Sage, or you can manually put them in. It's up to you. All of that information is going to populate so that we can do rate shop. We can provide all of the certificates, SLIs, anything that you would need from a dangerous goods perspective. All of that can be brought in here and integrated accordingly. You'll see that these line item details of the items are of course coming through. And so now I go ahead and bring that into the ShipLinx screen, and automatically the rate shop occurs again. So if we want to hit the FedEx International Economy, I'll pick that, and now we've got base discount fuel, and the variable handling charge opens up again. And here we go with shipping, and instead of the bill of lading, of course, what's happening now is that the printer is going to be printing off your commercial invoice. So I'm waiting for that to pop up here. The commercial invoice, again, is a crystal report. So we can make that the way we need to. We set up commercial invoices and all of the international documents based upon the country, the destination country, of course. The other thing that is important to note is that our system will provide the commercial invoice digitally if the country allows for it. If not, the printer will have the paper. And of course, we've got customers today that do both, because they want paper on their side, but they want the digital to go out to the customer. So all of that functionality can be configured accordingly. All right. One of the things I want to also say that this desktop application resides on that workstation, as I indicated, and that gives you the ability for the real-time integration, but it also allows us to drive all your peripherals. So you don't have to go up on the web and have all of those files going back and forth and back and forth. It goes right from your desktop to your peripherals. So we set up your scanners, your dimensioners, your scales, all of that is done from this application very simply and quickly, by the way. So that's how it works from a real-time integration perspective. And what I'd like to show now is what it looks like on the web and what kind of functionality you have there. Before I jump rather into the web, are there any questions from the real-time integration piece? Anything out there, Peter?
Sorry, just came off mute. Not specifically to that. I mean, there are some general questions about implementation time and use of carriers, which you've touched on.
Yeah.
But let's move through, and then we'll hit those at the end.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds good. Well, what we're looking at here is my dashboard. When you log into the web application, and by the way, this isn't an either or. You will have this web functionality, and you will have the real-time integration that you looked at here with the ShipLinx desktop. So you have both. But what you're looking at is, when you come in, is these are KPIs of the type of freight that is moving through the system for you. So if you only have parcel moving through, you'll have the parcel KPIs. Or if you have parcel, LTL, truckload, you'll have all of them. The other thing is that these are the ShipLinx, the TMS data points, but we also have in here our analytics audit. So if we're doing freight audit for you, we've got all of that information. All of it's at a glance. It's important because we've got, obviously, red arrows are bad, green arrows are good, right? And depending on what the metric is it going up good or down good? So all of those things are real visual. You can see over here that this red arrow, this big one, this one says that we're way out of control. So what we're doing with our account management team is we're working with you on what we are seeing in the data to help you and say, hey, is there a good reason for that? Or should we help with some suggestions? So those are the collaboration opportunities that you'll get with our team. Once again, it's all included in the subscription. So you'll have an account manager to talk about that. Why is this average potential savings out of whack? What's going on here? So we'll dive into it and help you with that. So if I go into then the shipping history tab, now we can see all of the shipments that are running through the system, okay? Or that did run through the system. So this one right here is the last one that we did. And I'm gonna open up the shipping history details screen, and you'll see the general information over here on the left. It's the package ID, tracking numbers, of course, the carrier name and the weight, etc. Right? And the other down here is important though. Of course, the ship date, but we also have a timestamp, and we have a shipped by field. So you'll know who's doing what in the system. And of course, we're on my demo, so that's what's coming forward. And then we've got origin and ship to location up here with the addresses. And then this over here, shipment actions. Let's say that, my printer jammed. How do I get that printed again? Because we've processed it with that real-time integration. Well, in this web app, you can go out and reprint compliant labels. That label will always reside with that shipping record. It's right here. And you can print it again. You can send it to a thermal printer, send it to a laser printer, however you've got your printer set up. Again, we will help you during implementation to do that. Or we can reprint the commercial invoice. It's that simple. Send it to a laser printer, boom, you got it. The other neat part, we've got customers that use this for document control, and they're able to go out and find it 6 months from now if they've got questions from their customer. Geez, what did you ship? What's going on? What was the quantity? Now, of course, all of that information, when we're integrated, will go back up to Sage. We will go send that right back up. That's integration, right? But nonetheless, we do have backup in the system if you should need it. Okay. What is also important is that when you go to the shipping history screen, you're seeing this on the screen as well. You can see client ID, tracking numbers, SCAC, ship vias, carriers, all of the ship to information, your total charge is located in here, etc. So all of your shipment information is here in a flat table and available for you, okay? And you can export this to Excel, or we can also hook you up with an API, JSON share as well. We can drive all of that into your BI environment if you choose, or you can use the data here inside of our system. It's entirely up to you. So any questions there, Peter? I'm
yeah, I mean, that goes to one of the attendees' questions about custom reports, and it seems it's very versatile, and any tool that they're familiar with could be used to generate reports out of the system, including on some of those dashboards.
Yeah, you bet. So those dashboards they're linked, right? So if you look here, like the average weight for LTL is an example, right? If I click on this, it opens up our dynamic reports module, and it'll give you a configured report that drives that KPI and gives you all of the specific information. And because you'll say, well, geez, I want to dive into that. So you're able to talk, dive in more detail. I think that's really important. The other cool part about our reports, we call it dynamic. I'm going to go into the shipping details report and bring it all in here. All of the information, like I said, is in a flat table, and you get it all. So there's never a situation where you're going to call up and say, hey, I need more information, and then we're going to charge you more, $2,000 to do that. It doesn't happen. All of the data is available to you. Any help that we give you is included, no additional charges. But it's dynamic because I can turn off all of these columns, and I can say, all right, I just want to see carrier, And oh yeah, that's how it's set up in the system. It's called carrier name. And then how about shipments? I want to see ship. Oh, ship. How do I do it? Oh, shipments sum. Yeah, that's all of them. So you see, it's very easy to be able to figure out how to move around in the system as well. Very intuitive. Your users will have no struggle at all. We never have a concern about training, bringing people up to speed. All of that training is included, of course, in the implementation, but we also train throughout our relationship. If we need to help get on a call, bring on new people, we'll take care of that for you and help you out. So there's the filtered report. I can save the configuration. I can make it private, or I can make it global for everybody in your company to see. It's up to you. And then I can also create a chart. And I've got a chart here saved. This is neat. The chart can be done with various different ways, right? Pie charts or bar charts, whatever the case. But we can save that chart to a KPI on the My Dashboard, or you have it visually for your presentation purposes. And then the other neat part is that you can take that report that you've created and you can have it sent to your inbox daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. When is it going to be arriving? What do you want your date range to be? All of that is configurable. And again, yes, we will help you with that if necessary. Any questions on that?
Well, while you're on the topic and we're touching on implementation, one of the attendees was wondering, how long does it typically take? What's the runway on something like this?
Yeah, I mean, it of course it varies depending on what types of modes we're dealing with, but you can usually expect 6 to 8 weeks. If we've got all modes, maybe 12 weeks for implementation, and that includes all of the system setup, carrier integration. So remember that we're going to go to your carriers as well, and we're going to set up the APIs. We're going to have EDI set up depending on, again, what the carrier technology is. So that's usually 8 to 12 weeks, and you're live, you're working. And of course, parcel only shippers, we add, put that account number into the system. It's real simple to do that. And when we, let me just go in here and show you what that looks like. Setting up carriers is really simple. It's by location, so I've opened up the manage locations screen, and then I go into carrier shipment setup, and now here your carriers are. Now this is what's already set up on the demo, but if you think about, let's see, Parcel FedEx, we would have your account number, your meter number, so all of the negotiations you've done with FedEx or the given carrier, that's all done already. We want to make sure we're tying to your account and getting all of that information in here, which includes, by the way, fuel, accessorials, any special items, like how about address classification, address validation. We'll set all of that up to meet your requirements. Then after the carrier is set up, and by the way, I keep saying we, right? RateLinx sets up your carriers for you. So we do all of this for you, even after go live. Again, doesn't cost you any money to add a carrier. We'll do that for you. It's really quick. And then after we've got the carrier set up, then obviously we have to set up the ship vias, right? The services. What level are we going to allow, or what have you negotiated? So here's FedEx Priority Overnight. And if there are special services associated with that, then we'll have the special services that we can add in here. Alternate rates, if there's anything that's different by time, whatever the case, all of that logic goes into the system. And then ultimately, when we have the carrier and the ship via, now we have the rate shop codes that we build. So best way Parcel, here's the example. And now all of these parcel carriers and ship vias, all the services show up. And now on this location, I can turn them on or turn them off based upon your needs. So maybe you've got a location that you don't want to have access to priority overnight. and you don't want that to even be an option, but you want it set up so that maybe management can do it, whatever the case. So there's ways for us to bring the functionality to the level in the organization that you want to process. Again, I'll just bring this to your attention for those international templates, all of the certificates and any of those documents required, including, by the way, if we have to create documents for dangerous goods or hazmat, all of that is available here, and we can do it by country. So our system is set up not only to be able to do the specific requirements of the country, but also put it into that language if necessary on the screen. So all of these are phrases, and they can all be translated as needed. Okay. Questions about carrier setup? Anybody?
They were wondering how, I mean, you're pretty much kind of showing it here, but is that something that users can do themselves? Do they require you? Is there additional cost?
Yeah, there's no additional cost, Peter. Thank you for that. And so, you know, we have customers that can do it, but they don't. They just call up their account manager and we get it done. I mean, it's that simple. And so what we've tried to do is to make the system function to get your freight moved, but not to create more overhead on your side. We're really very specific about driving efficiencies, and we have some customers that are having us track manual movement in the system. Even we've got reporting, special reporting that we do for our folks, so that we don't have to go out and have you staff up to use our product. We just don't believe in that. Did that answer the question, Peter?
Yeah, it seems to. Nothing further on that particular.
Great.
topic.
Well, I'd like to show you what happened. Is some of us have maybe sales conferences that maybe you're going to ship something outside of the ERP system, and that happens. We've got customers that do that. So you can ship on the web instead of being in real time, since you're not pulling it from Sage in this situation. And then once we ship it, it can be integrated and pushed back to Sage. So it's not like you lose it, the data is here, but this will give you an idea of how our system works under the hood as well. So if I do a best way mixed rate shop, and remember, we've got all modes here. So I can go ahead and shop the rates across different modes and really show you what that looks like. We've got an address book that you can utilize, or you can type it in. It's up to you, but it'll auto-populate. Shipment information over here, we can do must arrive by dates, the ship date, of course, billing type, right? We'll do prepaid, collect, third party. And incidentally, if you have different rates that are associated with different billing types, all of that can be put into the system as well. So here we'll just do prepaid. And then I've got you can add comments, the BOL number, etc. And then you'll see that the shipping options are here. We've got, you know, all of your pickup lift gate, maybe not, right? Or package details. So let's just go ahead and do package details. The box weight, we'll do, let me do something. Let's do 100 pounds. And if you don't have the dimensions, that's fine, right? The important part for Parcel, of course, is the weight. And then I can come down here and hit the item number, and it'll populate automatically. Pallet count, 1, pieces 10, and then we'll come down here and oops, you see how the system shows you an error. How can I be doing a multimodal rate shop at 100 pounds for Parcel and 1,000 pounds for the BOL, which would include your LTL and truckload? So the system helps you with something's wrong, right? So now I can go in here, correct it, and now it's estimating going out doing the rate shop across modes, and it found 14 different rates. And again, all of these rates are based upon your contracts, or if we're hooked to a broker or a load board for you, we will pull those rates in. So we've even got customers that will have an agreement, a rate agreement with Old Dominion, but they're also getting Old Dominion pricing from a broker. We'll show you both of those so that you can choose it, all right? So again, here you've got your ship via, carriers, of course, charges, the service days, this is your time in transit, and then you've got your base charges, discounts, fuel, and then all of your special services charges. So you can see it in one screen. Oh geez, I just want to have the least expensive, so I'm going to go ahead with the FedEx Ground, and I'm going to hit ship. So from this point, we are now automatically tendering if you configure it that way. If you choose not to, we can have you execute the tender on your own. That's up to you, okay? And then from here, we can do our compliant label, right? That's, again, you've already seen that, but that's automatic. And then, of course, the packing slip. And then from here, we can also go right to shipping history. Oh my gosh, I messed up. So now I can go to this parcel shipment, open it up, and I can even void it right here. And again, remember that every button, every place in the system is configurable based upon user permissions. So there could be a group of folks that you don't want to have the ability to void. We've got customers that do that, and then that button would disappear. So again, all of that is configurable, and we walk through that with you. The other thing I want to share with you is of course the shipping details. You're going to have all of the charges on by line item, and then you've got all of these attributes. These attributes come from Sage, and we do that through that integration, the mapping, or the shipment information that we're putting in based upon the carrier, etc. But we can use these attributes to drive logic in the system, to do trend analysis, reporting, etc. All of that is available to you, and it stays with the shipment record. And of course, all of your special services are here as well. Supporting files are also allowed. We can drive all of that into the shipment record also. Peter, before I go on to show tracking, are there any other questions on the shipping process?
There were some questions about integration with various WMS systems. We can take those now or later, and also some curiosity about handheld devices, barcoding. Kind of touched on that, but if we could revisit that a bit more, that'd be great.
Yeah, you bet. Was there a specific about the WMS question, or is it just?
Well, one company I know them well, but they are using what is now Corbor Warehouse Edge, and they're on X carrier, formerly Process Shipper, which is a fine solution, but they're thinking about moving away from that possibly. So,
correct.
What might that look like?
Yeah, the integration with WMS systems is something that we do every day. Many customers are integrated with WMSs as well as the ERP. And that integration requirement is of course based upon how are you doing your pick pack. And this kind of leads into that scanner conversation, right? If you've got handheld scanners and you're going out there and you're doing you're scanning or you're picking to pack and all of that, and you want all of that integrated to drive into the sales order to show what is in that box in advance of going to that shipping station. We've got customers that do all of that as well. So yes, we do that, and it's standard for us. Of course, what data maps are required, etc. That's what we do through implementation, but it's not a problem at all, Peter.
Great. And lead up our follow-up question on that. It has a system work to then flow that information of the event of the shipping back into the EDI platform for advanced ship notices?
Yep, we can do that as well. We can communicate externally the way that you need to. That is correct, not an issue. And the other thing that is important is that we can also help you with that notification up to wherever your inventory is managed, and we can relieve inventory based upon what goes into that shipment. So when it leaves, it's relieved from your inventory. And then when you void that shipment, of course, then there's a message that goes back again, ERP and WMS, depending, it puts that back into inventory. So we communicate as you need in those instances also.
Got it. Great.
Cool. Well, may I go to tracking, Peter?
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Cool. So tracking's a big deal today, isn't it? I mean, we want to know where things are, and it's technology. We want to be able to see it. We want to be able to touch it. So our system will allow you to see, geez, show delivery. So, excuse me, show the shipments that are delivering today, show the shipments that are being picked up today, past shipment dates. So we've got the ability to kind of bring that data together or information for your people. And then we can say created, picked up, in transit, out for delivery. I mean, so we've got it parsed for you. But if we want to, we can just look at, oh, this one parcel, I'm gonna look at that. It's created, oh. So, well, we're waiting for pickup. So from a visibility perspective, it can't track, it hasn't been picked up, but now you know that. So we can provide you reporting with all of those shipments that are waiting to be picked up, so that you can help manage that if you choose to, right? Or there's also customers that you may have that are waiting for something that's critical and you want to watch that. Again, this gives you the opportunity to do that. But if I want to, and I look at the filters over on the left part of the screen, this is very similar across all of our platform. It's simple to get around. So remember, I picked Parcel, so I'm going to go ahead and pick all modes. I want to see everything that's being that's waiting to be picked up. So now I've got every mode of transportation that is waiting to be picked up, and you can see that these are late. All right. Now, if I say, well, I want to see all statuses, it's just that simple. And now we've got 64,616 results. And incidentally, is this real, this demo? What's happening when I click these buttons is I'm going to the database in Azure, and it's giving me all of that information right now in real time. So yes, that's what you can expect from a time lapse when you're doing your work, okay? So, well, what kind of information do we have when we look at a shipment? Let's look at this and see if we've got some information here on this one. It's been picked up. It's red, so that means that the dynamic ETA is saying, hey, this was picked up late, or maybe it's delayed on the route. So you'll know that, right, when you look at it. Let me just let's look at a parcel. And again, I do this because I want to show you how easy it is to get through the system and walk through it. Here's a FedEx parcel shipment tracking details, and I'll show you all of the events that come through. So you can see when it was picked up, when it arrived at the loading dock and at terminals, and each day. So, you know, when you've got a tracking that you look at on the internet when you're ordering something coming to your house, and you say, well, it's out for delivery, or it's been picked up. Well, here you've got the each milestone that is communicated. You'll be able to show that to your customer, to your internal teams. Well, how do I do that, Todd? It's real simple. We can provide updates. The updates can be provided through the subscription, or we can have them receive SMS notifications, branded email notifications. So you can be sending this information to your sales team, to your internal customer service, or directly to your customer. And we can send all of the updates, but again, if you want all of them, they're going to see all of those milestones. You can also just select which ones. We can maybe tell them when it's picked up, and then if there's an exception, or maybe some customers or people internally will only want to see an exception. So all of this is configurable. We can communicate it outward as required. Questions about tracking, anyone?
Does this give the shipper or the distributor, the company shipping, the ability to send out notices that delivery, particularly relates to more B2C, like I get a notice that something's been delivered to my door on my mobile phone when something comes. It seems like the data is there, depend on the system.
Yeah, it sure does. In fact, that's what this one is. This delivery box right here says that it's at your doorstep. Boom. And remember, we're getting that from the carrier. So not only is that for a parcel, but that delivery notification will come through with LTL. If that carrier is scanning that order, and most of them are today, then the carrier knows that it made it to that dock door and it's been received, that all of that information. Now, I will tell you that we do have customers as well that require proof of delivery. So POD images can be also included in the information that we get from that carrier. But in terms of tracking, absolutely, that's what this delivery is right here.
Excellent.
Cool. I just want to end my comments, and I'll be happy to take some more questions here. We've got a few more minutes, but I'd just like to end my comments with just another look here at my dashboard, okay? My dashboard, again, now you see, wow, we can get more information, right? Average actual weight, average fuel percentages. So when you start thinking about how do I negotiate with my parcel carriers? How do I negotiate with my LTL carriers? Are my carriers doing what they are supposed to do? Here it is. It's all right in front of you. The other thing that is neat is that we have what is called our expert. And so here we've got some additional analytics and some information for your teams. And I don't know, we've got customers that use this with the executives or with management team members that want to understand. So this LTL profile is really interesting. 85.98% of the shipments were LTL, but only 40.75% was spent on LTL. So does that make sense? Is that good? I mean, it depends on you. It depends on the shipment, type and the volumes that are running through your system. But again, you see it, and you can see if we're going to audit your invoices. You've got green faces and red faces, and so we're analyzing the movement of the freight. We're analyzing the internal operations of your TMS and freight audit systems, and giving you back information to be able to manage your world. And then come full circle, we're utilizing our account management team to help you with that data, to help you, give you visibility to how we can help control it. So again, we're not just providing software. This is a SaaS. It's the subscription that gives you support from our teams as well. Excellent. Peter, I have concluded my remarks.
All right, so a few more questions here. One of our attendees has two different companies working with two different account numbers with UPS. Is RateLinx, ShipLinx able to deal with that?
You bet. In fact, when we set your clients up right here, we would just have, it could be two parent clients, or it could be a parent client, and then there's child clients, and then we can segregate data and operations, and we can have them set up differently or the same. All of that is done for sure, Peter. Yep.
Fantastic. You mentioned that you do integrate with e-commerce platforms. Does that include Shopify?
It does indeed. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the information can be flowing from Shopify into the transportation management system, back to Sage, all directions.
Correct. Yeah. In fact, we've got some customers that utilize us, they came to us because they thought, geez, you've got integrations already set up with our ERP. Can you sit in the middle, almost looking at us like a middleware? And then when they find out that we can control all of the rate shopping and all of the carrier setup and all that stuff, it even goes deeper, and they're much more satisfied. So yes, absolutely, that's how we do it. And then we can also communicate again to the WMS if that's how we're packing and picking. So all of that is connected, you bet.
I think the last question, can you expand a bit more on the support phone, email? How do we contact you? What's the typical service level agreement on support?
It's a great question. We have, I would say, 3 different methods to get a hold of us for support. You will have that account manager. You'll have that account manager's mobile number, and their responsibility is 24/7, 365 to be answering the phone. Now, if the system, if you've got an outage, we have 24/7, 365 monitoring and alerting that goes on, and it doesn't have to come to the account manager, right? But if you're looking for support, you can reach out to them. We also allow you to email your requests into the account manager, and then we've got a ticketing system also. The internal ticketing system that we have will bring it right to the right people inside of our operation. So if we need to have a software engineer looking at it, or if it is just a configuration assistant or adding a carrier, those things are handled by your account manager. So you can use any one of those. Our SLA is broken out, of course, by the severity of the issue. Criticals get handled right away, of course. Importance are just about real time as well. And then, if you're looking for functionality changes, enhancements, things of that nature, then we work with you, and it's almost like a mini implementation project. We scope it out accordingly, and we put it into the specifications so that we can drive that to conclusion for you and make sure that we test it properly.
Excellent. Well, I think that covers everything. I'm just taking another look here to see if there's any question I might have missed, but it seems like we're good. Anything before we close? Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending. If you wouldn't mind bringing back the PowerPoint there for a moment.
You bet I will. And I bet you want me to go to the next slide, Peter.
We're right on the same page. It's the last slide. Keep going.
There we go.
So here at Network, we are determined to deliver high value for all our services, and please take a look at the other resources that are available to you, our blog, our live web events, and our resource library. Again, if there's interest in this or any other solutions we represent, please reach out to your account manager or call Network Direct at the number shown. Thank you so much. Anything else you would like to say in closing, Todd?
Yeah, I would just add, Peter, really, we appreciate our partnership, and we appreciate the opportunity to work with your customers. And so thank you so much for allowing us to be with you today. And I echo Peter's comments. If you would like next steps and discussions, get to your account manager, and we can arrange those discussions as well. So thanks again, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.